Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer League. Today we have a Week 6 match between Team the Sexy Gannets, featuring Yagamoth, and Team Missing Bow featuring Taale. Here we have a key sanity race for you, but it's still a little bit of a twist here. Both runners will have access to the spoiler log, or rather, their co-pilots have access to the spoiler log. For Team the Sexy Gannets, we will have Freddy behind the scenes reading the spoiler log, and for Team Missing Bow, we will have Houston Baba reading the spoiler log. Basic way to sum this up is that the pilots are going to route the seed for them based on the spoiler log. The runners that you see on screen are going to be executing the route that the pilots are providing. And of course, I am Wolfling0370. Hopefully Ricky will be around, but for now it's just me and the mic booth here. So, in terms of the spoiler log race, these runners will be going... It's a little bit different here, because of the spoiler log, both runners know where everything is. Or, at least both teams will know where everything is. So, we're actually not running with a delay. The race will start up here in a few short moments. And, I will be having the spoiler log too, once I get my hands on it. Of course, I'm not telling you guys what it will see, but... Gotta have some suspense, right? Alright. Let's see. Alright, the runners have the spoiler log at this point in time. Or rather, the teams have the spoiler log now. And they are off. And right away we get the compass to Skull Woods here on Yagamoth. Tyler's going to be heading eastward, as you're doing a Houlihan route. Yagamoth's going to opt for 50-50 bombs. And in looking in the pull trees, yeah, there's not much coming out from any sources of bombs, so this is an ideal source of bombs that Yagamoth's getting right now. And likewise, Taale is opting to take some rupees over to Kakariko. Alright, race game from Yagamoth. I made the mirror. Very nice, very nice. I will say this much, it is actually very hard for us to read the spoiler log and keep an eye on these races at the same time. 20 rupees from the uncle there, no big deal. We already have the pendant and compass information down for you down low. As you can see, we have this Ice Palace as our green pendant, Eastern and Hera are the two, and we have the Moon Pearl there for Yagamoth. Taale heading down to South Shore, it looks like. as we get the flippers from Yagamoth there. And I believe we are now joined by Ricky Kukuri. Thank you for helping out. I am already frantically looking at the spoiler log and trying to keep up with this race.
Hello. I'm sorry about that. I missed my alarm and kind of overslept.
That's so fine. But anyway, blue for Taale here at the floodgate chest.
Very nice early find.
Yeah, both our runners have found a few things. We've got the Peanut Burnham, Moon Pearl, Flippers, and the mirror from Yagamoth. All of those were found in Kakariko. Taale making her way southward to Kakariko as well. And I think that's what Taale was doing. Taale was getting the flute first, so that Taale can activate the flute while she is in Kakariko.
Very nice. Yeah, being able to read the spoiler log effectively can make some very good plays like that.
Yes, and of course, Taale is not reading the spoiler log. That is...
Well, right, of course.
Her teammate, of course, Houston Baba, behind the scenes doing that. Yagamoth is in the same boat, has Freddy piloting it, his teammate in the Sexy Ganons. And there's the boots for Yagamoth. Yep. Spoiler log seeds, you know where those boots are, and it's always a beeline to go for them. And that's what Yagamoth's doing with the early Kakariko play, getting the flippers to get the boots as fast as possible.
Well, Taale gets the mirror off the race game that Yagamoth already got.
And now we're here on the Zord Ledge. We have the Ice Rod. Nice find there. Alright, our runners are now heading out further and further.
Taale about to activate the flute, Yagamoth returning to Kakariko Village. Neither runner has the gloves or the hammer yet. Oh, Yagamoth's activating the flute as well.
Yes.
I wonder...
I'm trying desperately to speed read these
the
spoilers so I know where they're going.
It's all good. Okay.
Oh, those boots for Yagamoth are actually really good. They're going to let him zip around the map. Have him collect a couple more items as he goes around. Heading to the Lost Woods. Taale getting the flippers and the Cannon Burna. And there's a bow for Yagamoth.
Nice.
Nice indeed. Arc container there as well. That's something you don't see too much when you're doing spoiler races, because you know where all the items are. You don't usually take as many safeties because you want to go a little bit faster. So it's a little bit of a risk reward here with the routing that Freddy is doing for Yagamoth, as well as Yusubab is for Taale. They gotta know when to take risks and move on. And again, we're not playing with the delay here, folks. And spoiler logs are a little bit unique in terms of races. They are the only format in which the runners are allowed to see each other's screens.
Right. This all comes down to execution and planning.
Yes, and in this case, the runners you see on screen are executing a route from their teammates who are piloting the seed by giving them a route through the spoiler log. The runners themselves are not looking at it.
Yagamoth going into Eastern Palace, while Taale is doing the flipper checks.
Eastern Palace. Good spot for some good early items.
And there's the hammer.
Pretty good find there. Oh, who am I kidding? It's an excellent find.
Yep, they're just one piece away from Dark World access.
Stays again, it's climbing up Spectacle Rock here. And what is on Spectacle Rock here? Oh, it's a glove! Immediately going for that.
And Yagamoth heading straight across to East Death Mountain.
Heading over into Mini Moldorm, or to Paradox Caves, we call it.
So I'm sorry, tell me one more time, who are the pilots for Yagamoth and Taale?
Yagamoth's pilot is his teammate Freddy, and Taale's pilot is Houston Baba.
Okay.
So Yagamoth picking up some chests here in Paradox Cave.
While Taale is making her way into Mini Moldorm Cave. Oh, that's right, it's Key Sanity. Okay.
Yeah, key sanity matters a little bit here for our racers. They're going to have to keep an eye out for those keys.
Got the big key of Meyer and the big key of Hera.
Both of which are required dungeons, according to our tracker.
Well,
By the
Hera's
way,
pen. Oh wait, it's all dungeons. Never mind. It's all dungeons. Key Sanity.
Is it all dungeons key sanity? I have to double check the settings now.
No, it is 7-7. Okay. Like I said, I just woke up like 15 minutes ago, so I'm a bit brain dead. Don't mind me.
It's spoiler 7-7 to begin. Next week is all dungeons.
Okay, I'm mixing it. Okay, I'm mixing up the 2 weeks then again.
And next week is actually also the final week of the before the playoffs happen.
Right.
And there's the K for Yagamoth. Good safety item to have. And speaking of the playoffs, the Sexy Cannons have actually clinched their playoff season and for their division.
Nice.
So they will be advancing to the playoffs guaranteed going forward into the league.
So co-pilot is where their teammate has the spoiler log and is watching their stream and allowed to watch the opponent's stream as well, trying to figure out where the items are as quickly as possible so they can give the runner that information so they can effectively travel the world and find everything as quickly as possible.
Yes, and here as you can see, they just told Yagamoth where the Cane of Samari is, and they have that on their side.
And apparently there's something in the big chest.
Small key to turn a rock, which we do need a few of them. And now you can see the somewhat a bit of a risk here. Also, we missed this. Taale has the hook shot here. That was the library.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if Yagamoth swung by that way to get it yet. But we do have a required swamp, so we'll have to do it sooner or later. And Yagamoth getting the pendant out of here. Probably just one of the heart container, more so than ever. No swords yet for our runners as well. And yeah, Yagamoth just getting some extra health here. But that is Dark World access for Yagamoth. And this is 7-7, folks, just as a heads up. It is not all dungeons. My co-commentator was a little bit confused, having just woken up.
Yes, very sorry about that.
And there's the Titan Smiths for Yagamoth. Good find there. Question to chat if it's Oops All Dungeons. I have the swear log. I know. I'm not telling. Gotta leave you guys a little bit of suspense here. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be watching because you knew everything already. Just makes some sense.
I mean, we've already got one pendant dungeon down for that. Just 2 more.
Yeah,
potentially.
What I'm more concerned about is the fact these runners don't have a sword yet.
Yeah.
High key coming up here for Yagamoth. Some extra money in hand. Along with a big key to desert, which we do need. 20 rupees and a piece of heart. That last chest will not be opened, it seems.
Taale just got her hammer out of Eastern Palace and is heading to the back of Escape to get the glove that was there.
And I see what was in that chest, and I can completely understand why it was skipped. I suppose we should talk about how the key standing works if you haven't seen key standing before. So, how key standing works is the maps do not normally give information, but because it's a square log, that is a moot point, so we don't really need to worry about maps. Compasses are also something we don't really care about. But if you're a newer runner, compasses are helpful in that they'll tell you how many items there are total to find in a dungeon, and how many of those items you've already picked up. And there's the big key to Ganon's Tower, along with a fire rod.
Meyer Shed's loaded today. Nice.
Indeed. And as you can see, we already have the pendant information, so we do need to find bombs and ether down here. Yeah, I'm gonna grab these bombs. A little bit of an extra restock.
And Taale right behind Yagamoth, getting the fire rod and GT big key.
But yeah, if I haven't mentioned yet already, the maps would normally give us the information on our overworld map so that we know which pendants, which dungeons are a map or a compass, or a pendant or crystal, sorry. And the music is also shuffled so that we can't use our ears to rely on it as in deducing which is which.
Turtle Rock big key was on the Desert Palace torch.
Nice, another reason why we need the boots. Checkerboard Cave has a small key to Dark Palace. We do need a few of those. And we do have all the items for Turtle Rock. But we're also missing a sword for Turtle Rock.
Indeed.
Just to remind everyone in chat who may have not realized it, you can't exactly cast a medallion without a sword. In swordless, which is not going to be a feature in this, what they do instead of using the sword, they have you use the hammer instead to act as the replacement for the sword for those checks.
Right,
or
but
medallion
not
activations.
right, but that doesn't apply in this setting, so
No.
they need to find one of the 4 swords. And honestly, being 20 minutes in almost, like, if I was running, I would be going for a sword ASAP. Like, instead of doing Lamolas with the hammer, that was nice. So, it's very interesting to see how they prioritize weapons.
Well, maybe we can read into this a little bit here. Maybe the swords are in pretty bad locations this seed.
That's an entirely good possibility too. Yes.
I mean, it certainly makes the most sense based on the fact they haven't gone out of their ways to get a sword yet. Yeah, we had 2 different opening routes here to start with. Taale went with the money route to fund buying bombs and the like, whereas Yagamoth just went for bombs from 50-50 bushes. That's one of the first things you do when you are routing spoiler logs. You look for your bomb source and go get the bombs, because they are one of your most important sources. Entering Ice Palace now for Yagamoth here. Can do Icebreaker, can easily finish this dungeon with the fire rod in hand. No bottles yet.
Yeah, so he's got to be careful with his magic.
Yeah, his magic is going to be very much a exclusive commodity for anything that requires it.
Particularly Cold Stare, because he needs to do 8 fire rod swings, and he can only do 7 right now with that magic meter at where it's at.
That's correct. You need a full bar of magic to break Cold Stare's armor. And we may not even go to fight Cold Stare at all. This is a pendant after all, although it is the green pendant. Beautiful iceberg from Yagamoth. And there is the first sword.
There we go.
Was hard locked behind the fire rod.
Well, it was hard to lock behind the fire rod, and if you were doing this the vanilla way, the hook shot and the hammer as well, he would have had to go the long way around, but Icebreaker gave him it straight away.
That's correct. And Yagamoth, as a reminder, I don't think does not have the hook shot just yet. Has not been to the library. There's a small key to Swamp, mirroring and leaving the dungeon. That's all that was in here that Yagamoth cared about picking up. And considering he could have gone straight to Cold Stare and potentially defeated him, I think it's safe to say Pedestal has nothing on it. Given the context of this mode.
Right. Taale using bow strats on Lamolas. They are not cooperating. And switches to hammer strats.
Hammer, of course, does tempered sword damage, although it is a very short-range weapon.
Yes.
And it'll be particularly difficult to get in a hit when the 8-way shots are going to come out whenever that last Emola is burst out of the ground.
Yagamoth realizing he forgot his hook shot.
Yep, picking it up now. Yep. A minor time loss at best.
Was
Didn't
about
need
to
it just
dive
yet.
into Swamp Palace, and then realized, whoops!
Yeah. Yagamoth is still a little bit ahead here. Freddy has had the better route that he's been following. Baba and Taale, though, are right on their tail. Although, so execution mistakes can cost Yagamoth, or maybe routing mistakes for Freddy, could cost them this at least alleged lead that we have. Alleged lead, yes. That's harder to say back to back. Because this is a randomizer, it's not over until the dot done. Going straight into swamp. Dig spot being checked for Taale. And it is the Bombos Medallion there.
Ah, so there's your Meyer access. And the
Big
big
key
key of Swamp Palace is in Swamp Palace.
Wait, did Yagamoth forget to pick up the shovel? I don't remember
It was in Desert Palace. I do not know if he grabbed it or not.
Hopefully our tracker, Elbot behind the scenes.
Chat says he did not.
Ooh. That could cost him a little bit more time.
Taale looks like they're heading up into Pod. Oh, nice routing around those trees. I need to do that. Get that murder bird off my back.
Indeed.
Oops.
Oh, Taale taking a death. That's going to set them back a pair of ways.
Well, GFE, the shovel had Bombos, and Bombos locks Meyer.
And we need to do Meyer in this seed. So, a little bit of a crunch there. Another Smoky Dark Palace for Yagamoth.
Yeah, Meyer's a crystal, Tiara's a crystal.
Silver's right there.
Nice.
On the way through Swamp. Very nice. And we're going to see another trick here from Yagamoth. Diver down. Gets it done flawlessly. You can access these chests, which had a big key to Thieves Town, which we do need. I'm just rushing the dungeon. Taale, she, meanwhile, is heading into Palace of Darkness here. Doesn't have that many keys. And this is a very different environment from the spoiler log tournament that we had a while back. In those, they had 15 minutes to study the log before they executed the route. In this case, the runners not only don't have it, then we have a second sword there from Taale. Our runners not only don't have access to spoiler logs themselves, but their co-pilots only had access to spoiler log as soon as the race began. So there was no time to study it. So routing mistakes are still possible here. So I don't blame Freddy for forgetting about the shovel at all.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that the co-pilot isn't even thinking about Meyer at the moment. They might be finding out right now as they're waiting for this fight to finish.
That's correct. It's very likely that they just overlooked some information and then has not routed in accordingly.
Yagamoth going with the hookshot menu hammer strats.
Probably the safest way to do this fight.
Indeed.
Smoky to Gan's Tower there for Taale. And the Yagamoth seems to be focusing more so on big keys, as Chad is noting. Which isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, and they do have most of the big keys.
At this point, they just need the medallions and a few small keys here and there. And, of course, that shovel. Technically also the lamp, but I can see them not picking up the lamp in the seed. Master Sword on Argus. So there's 3 of the swords.
Nice. Taale continuing into pod. For a heart container, just skips the other chest in this room. Don't need it.
Makes some sense.
But without any keys, she can't do much else, I don't think.
No.
Not sure why they're not just mirroring out.
Oh, once you can down here. And the Book of Medora is there. That is desert access. Or maybe something else on the tablets, actually. Take a look. Because I actually have not checked the tablets.
Oh, and there's another sword in the drop basement of pod.
And there's a bottle for Yagamoth and Sea House. That's the first one we've seen. They must also not be that in great spots.
So we have seen all 4 swords now. Yeah, it's all 4 swords, and both runners have 2 different swords.
Yeah, those were not in good positions either. I think the earliest one they could have reached was the one in Pod, but they'd have to go there swordless, which is not ideal. And also, Pod is a required dungeon, so it makes some sense not to go there right away. Sick Kid here with the bottle check. There's our lamp. And those bottles are not in good spots either. I think I'm not saying where they are, but I'm gonna say I think the Sea House was actually the earliest one they could have gotten. So yeah, Aghanim was not happening today.
So Taale's dipping into Ice Palace to get her sword and one of the keys, I believe it was, but she does not have the Cane of Samaria, so she's gonna have to go the long way.
Oof. Cane of Samaria was in Hera, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Taale did not go up there yet. I can see a little bit of panic on both sides here as the runners are trying to figure out, as the pilots are trying to figure out the seed. Small keys to Thieves Town in Thieves Town. Okay, game. Good joke. And some armor as well. Yagamoth's pretty safe right now with, I believe that is 8 hearts? No, 7 hearts, blue mail. Well, safe in the terms of spoiler logs, after all.
Taale making her way through the hookshot room, which is the logical access to the 2 items she needs in Ice Palace.
Alright. Yagamoth heading through Thieves Town now, getting a few chests and a few more safeties. And that's the nice thing also about the spoiler logs here, is the piece of heart routing can be done pretty well if you know what you're doing. You can opt to save a piece of heart for a refresh later on. And I think that's what Yagamoth did here. Either that or he just got lucky.
And Taale gets her key to Swamp Palace, followed by her tempered sword in just a few seconds. And there we go. So she's going to have a much easier time with the Argus fight once she gets to Swamp Palace.
Indeed. Yagamoth is just full clearing Thieves Town at this point.
For another key to Turtle Rock.
That is 3 keys to Turtle Rock, so we can get everything in there if we don't need to go to the big key chest. Stocking with some more arrows, and now it's time to fight blind. And a Gestation was brought up, and yes, Diver Down and Ice Rigger are glitches that are not allowed in MMG, but our Racing Council has approved of them for use in the randomized race.
Very clean fight with Blind on Yagamoth's side.
That's Ice Palace in the meantime, not that we need it.
And that is their 3rd crystal.
Yep, 3rd crystal and only 34 minutes in. This race is flying. Yagamoth looks to be heading into Skullwoods next. So that'll be the 4th crystal here.
While Taale heads into Swamp Palace. Is going to get her gold sword with the defeat of Argus.
That is a nice thing to have. Now, something I'm noticing here is we don't have the Ether Medallion yet.
Nope.
Oh, does Taale have Ether? I did not notice Taale picking up Ether. My mistake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
when did... Okay.
Yeah, I thought I didn't see it in the menu, but apparently I was mistaken. But yeah, Ether was in Pod.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Silver's now for Taale. Well, yeah, there's Ether in the menu. I will admit, it is really hard to keep an eye on the runners as well as think of the squirrel log.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing, actually. I was just looking for Ether in the squirrel log, and I didn't even notice that Taale had Ether already.
Yeah.
And that was really nice hammer strats on the Mothula with Yagamoth.
Indeed.
He's had excellent boss battles.
Yeah, I believe that is why Yagamoth is the runner here this time around, and Freddy is the pilot. Yagamoth's execution has been shown to be pretty good here. And the routing for Freddy is just top-notch as well. Have been a few slip-ups though, but then again,
Yeah,
looking at a square log, can't really make a choice here. This looks to be a correction on the mistake right now, getting the shuffle so that they can get bombos.
Yes.
And it's these little trip-ups that Taale needs to take advantage of to push ahead. but only desert cleared thus far, and a double dip of pod done. It's looking very it's a double dip pod situation for Taale. I think Yagamoth is trying to avoid doing pod as much as possible, until they're in a position to do it in one run.
Yeah, which is totally understandable and a really good strategy just to save time. Though, we are coming to a point where he's gonna have to go into pod. Because once he's done with Meyer, he needs to go get Ether to do TR.
Question is the big key for pod available so that Yagamoth can also do the dungeon while he's there?
Right. Taale takes down Argus, gets her second crystal. Yagamoth gets the Red Mail and Super Bunny Cave on their way up Dark Death Mountain.
Yagamoth! This should be entry Turtle Rock, but this is the wrong medallion!
Oh!
Wait! Yagamoth was... Wait. I had to double check this. I had to double check. Yeah, we got the medallions backwards. It's almost standard Turtle Rock. Mr. Meyer requires Ether. Whoops.
Whoops. It's all good. Okay.
That's an easy mistake to make, because in the square log, they're actually listed Turtle Rock, Mystery Mire from top to bottom instead of putting them in order of the dungeons. So that was a small mistake on our part, but we got it through it.
Alright, so Yagamoth's in Turtle Rock then.
Yeah, Yagamoth's in Turtle Rock. 3 small keys and a big key can clear this dungeon out. Still missing the big key to Mystery Mire. Hey, wait a minute. No, both runners have the big key to Mystery Mire. What am I talking about? I just double checked to make sure. No, we don't. We've got all the big keys that we need, except for the pod big key. And in fact, once the pod big key's on screen, that's no mode for, well, for chat anyway. Yeah, you guys are on pretty low health. So is Taale, though. There is a heart piece up ahead. The heart pieces don't refill your health until you pick up 4. The death here would be very damaging for Yagamoth. Does get out the checkpoint, though. And there's the big key to Dark Palace. We are now in no mode, I believe. And Yaga still has that blue potion to restore his life. Taale, meanwhile, she is going through to fight blind right now. Just a few more rooms to go. So, at this point, based on what we know now about the seed, Yagamoth has clearly the better route here. Because Yagamoth does not have the double dip Palace of Darkness, whereas Taale does. And based on where Ether was, that's in a spot that we can access with as little few keys as possible. So we only need one small key per pod, I think. And yeah, this is looking like it's going to be Turtle Rock to Pod to Mr. Mario to GG based on the routing here. Hammer strats! Coming through from Yagamoth here.
And Taale takes down Blind. Well, Yagamoth is making quick work of Trinex.
Yeah,
Names.
as much as you can with Master Sword anyway. It is 10 slashes or 5 spins to defeat each Trinex's heads.
And there we go.
More for and then the same amount for the final phase. Very well executed, though. That is Turtle Rock down. And there's a small key to Castle Tower. Well, if we were going to Yagamoth before, there's another reason why. It's way too late to see the banner. And I completely forgot that Yagamoth wasn't going to be in play either because of those small keys. I always forget about that.
Right. You need 2 small keys to do Aga 1.
Yeah, but we only found one, and we're not going to care about the other one. And this is a pod play for Yagamoth. He does have enough rupees for Kiki the Monkey. Plus a few to spare in case he accidentally loses Kiki. Taale, meanwhile, is going into Skullwoods. She will be fighting them off soon enough. Still trailing behind a fair bit, but it's definitely not out of this race. Yagamoth could have a critical death at some point. Although, given the way Yagamoth has been playing with low health, it's very unlikely that will happen. Freddy has piloted the seed extremely well. Only a few hiccups here and there, but otherwise a very solid routing from the co-pilot on the Sexy Ganons. And while we have a moment here as Yagamoth picks up his Tempered Sword, a quick shout out to our German restream who is handling things as well. You can see a link there in chat right now on the Twitch side. And for those YouTube fans, this is being restreamed on. This was restreamed, of course, on SG3, and of course on Speed Gaming Dutch.
And Yagamoth gets his Butter Sword. Both runners have all 4 swords.
And Ether, I believe, is on the way right here in the front. It's in, I believe, the map chest is what it's called. And I believe there was a boss key to Ganon's Tower found, I think, at some point.
Well, they both already have the GT big key.
Yeah. Small key was just gonna mean only a few seconds. But there's either. That is go for Yagamoth. 47 minutes, 50 seconds.
Wow.
Small key to Gansero right there. So doesn't have to make the small detour to go pick up a small key. And can go straight up the tower when he heads up that way.
Yagamoth not even bothering to do the back of pod like Taale did. Taale went back there to get the book and a heart container. But Yagamoth's just going straight to Hemelsar.
Yep, this is a pretty good race. They've got maybe... Considering they have the big key and routing through Mr. Meyer, probably I'd say another 10 minutes and Yagamoth will finish. Because even though Yagamoth doesn't have any small keys, it is possible to go straight to the boss in Mr. Meyer. It's a little bit more of a convoluted route. Oh, actually no, because there's a small key in the way. No, I'm being dumb.
Right, Go Mode GT, you don't need any keys from the chest. You can just go downstairs, get the key from the pot, then go through the gauntlet and get the key off that little helmet beast.
Yeah, the mini Helmosaur up top has a small key. So all you need is one small key so that you can get through the double small key doors. And there's another small key in Gant's tower.
Yeah, so small keys aren't a problem.
For now. Taale, meanwhile, does have the Cadence of Mario at this point. Or will soon have the Cadence of Mario. And that will be go mode for Taale, I believe. So, at this point, Yagamoth is definitively ahead by at least another 10 minutes or so, I'd say. Because Yagamoth's entering his final dungeon right now. Taale, meanwhile, still has to do Pod, Mire, and Turtle Rock.
Right.
And at this point, Freddy, Team Sexy Ganon, the Sexy Ganon is done. He's in chat chatting with us right now. This was definitely a hard one to route, I'd say. There was a couple hiccups, but other than that, a pretty flawless route from Freddy here for the 6 Gans that Yagamoth is now finishing up.
Go Mode Mire is the best kind of mire. Well, Go Mode dungeons are the best kind of dungeons, period.
Indeed.
Taale making her way through Turtle Rock while Yagamoth is about to face off against Vitreous and get his final crystal. And Taale takes a death to the chain chomps from the back. Ouch.
Yeah, those changes are if you're not ready for them. That's terrible for Taale. Oof. Only a minor setback get worse though. Another smoking again is tower meanwhile on Vitreous.
Welcome, everyone from Speed Gaming 2. Thank you for the raid. For those just joining us, Yagamoth is in Go mode, is about to head up GT right now.
Yeah, this has been a pretty exciting spoiler log race here, folks. Folks, our runners are just now wrapping up.
And since this was Key Sanity and we already have the Gans Tower Big Key, we will not be playing the Big Key guessing game because there's no guessing involved.
Nope. We already found the Big Key. That was, which is a shame because if it ends up in Gans Tower, sometimes I like to play a variation of the game. In which I have, in the spoiler log settings, have them guess the chest, but we're not going to be opening any chests again now, we're going straight up. So, unfortunately, no game to play today. And with just a Ganis Tower standing between Yagamoth and victory, and Taale still has to clear 3 dungeons.
Well, not only does she have to clear 3 dungeons, she also needs to find the Pod Big Key and Small Key, which might be in TR. I might have missed it, but...
Pod Big Key was here in Turtle Rock. I believe it was in the big chest.
Okay. But I think she's still missing a Small Key as well, because she used that one on her tracker to get to the back of Pod.
Oh, yeah, she needs an extra small key, doesn't she? Well, there was a second one unfound, I think, from Yagamoth, so I think it may be in here. Anyway, time to go to take on GT, and we're just going straight up the top.
Straight up the gauntlet.
Yeah, this is gonna take too much longer here. And Taale will need a miracle for her to catch up at this point. Once again, folks, we do thank you for joining us here for the Dark World Conference Visiting Meyer Division between the teams, the Sexy Gannons and Team Missing Bow. The Sexy Gannons have clinched a playoff position here, and we actually have 3 clinched playoff positions here in the Visiting Meyer Division. And going forward from this point. So, I believe that only leaves 1 team left? I'm not entirely sure how the playoffs are broken up.
I'll go look that up real fast.
But in any case, Missing Bow, of course, is not in a clinched playoff position here, so they are fighting to stay alive in the league at this point. And they still have 1 week to pull up to get ahead and come through and win this whole thing.
Okay, so for the playoffs, it's the top 3 teams.
Oh, the top 3 teams.
Division. Yeah.
Okay, so that means playoffs have all been locked up for the Misery Meyer Division then.
Indeed.
And of course, once the playoffs happen, there will only be one team that advances from each of our 4 divisions, and then I believe at that point we are throwing them into a 8-man bracket tournament to decide who is the conference champion and then who will be the grand champion. I believe that is how it's working. But we still have a week left of league play here before playoffs.
Taale entering Misery Mire, while Yagamoth gets ready to face off against Modorm 2.
And I'm also going to say this right now. Misery Mire division is locked up with 3 teams in the division. They're the only division right now that has 3 people in the playoff position. In fact, there's only 7 teams total across the entire league that have clinched a playoff position at this point in time. And pretty much anyone with an undefeated record going into this week here was clinched. So, at the very minimum, you would need an undefeated streak, but Team 6 again is one of the 2 that have been defeated that have clinched the playoff position. And here we go. Aghanim fight coming down for Yagamoth. Great positioning here. Gets a double, I believe.
But the inventory shows current. So if they use the key, it's not going to show up on the menu.
That is correct. Kind of an iffy position there, but only needs 1 shot. Yagamoth has to beat Aga 2, and it is time for Yagamoth to beat the pig. And with Gold
I
Sword...
looked away for a second. What happened to Aga 2? He's gone already.
Pretty good pattern.
Yagamoth has been killing these bosses. The execution's been amazing.
Yeah, Yagamoth had some great patterns there. But now it is time to fight the pig, of course. Gold sword and silver arrows in hand. I think you know how this goes, but I'll win anyway. It'll be 6 slashes of phase, and that'll proceed to the first 2 phases of the Ganon fight, after which Ganon will start teleporting around, and we have to slash him when he stops moving. Do it after 4 times, we'll enter the darkness technique, which is the final phase. Keep the torches lit. It's done Ganon with the sword, and then let loose 4 silver arrows to win the fight. Yagamoth has plenty of silver arrows, but should he miss, it'll be 3 spin attacks per miss arrow as Ganon begins to teleport away, otherwise known as the silverless strats. And those are not easy to do. Those are 2-frame windows. And Ganon is being particularly rude with his first teleport pattern.
Right, but we don't need to worry about silverless strats. We have silvers, right?
Exactly. Both runners have silvers. It would only come into play if Yagamoth somehow falls repeatedly and ends up running out of ammunition. Which, given his execution thus far, that's not happening anytime soon. There's a single hit. Letting the torches go out. Great positioning there. Almost falls in the pit, but a triple. Missed the triple. Gets the clean-up hit, though. That's going to be GG for Yagamoth. And Team 6 Ganons will get 3 more points for Week 6 to round out their score. And that is Yagamoth crossing in 5th first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 56 seconds. GG. Ooh, this was a great race to see. Lots of diverging routes. Else here, even though it was a spoiler log seed, even. And Taale is going to finish strong here. You're heading into Palace of Darkness. And we are now joined by both runners of this race. Yagamoth. Thank you for acing this for us. We're also joined by his co-pilot, Freddy, as well. GG's to both of you. Excellent routing, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
We'll ignore the shovel and the hook shot.
Yeah, a couple of tripping points here and there, but otherwise you were very well done. You guys, let's talk about the early game here. What were your thoughts with the whole bombs dispersal? Because I'll tell you this right now, the bombs were not exactly kind. The pull trees were not kind to you this season.
Yeah, there was not good early stuff. Fortunately, though there wasn't much money, it was not much money required. Like, I think we got away with that seed with getting less than 200 rupees total, which is by far the lowest I've ever gotten in a spoiler seed. So that was the nicer part about it, at least. The glove positions were sure in fun.
Yeah, and the lamp position was also pretty humorous too.
Yeah, that worked out. I'm like, I saw the lamp where I'm like, oh wait, there's a bottle in C-shape. Perfect. Let's just get it after getting that if you want to. It's a lot of things like that. Like I said yesterday, I leave that up to Yagamoth or my runner. If they want to get the lamp, it's faster usually, but I just completely spaced that hook shot. Would you believe I hadn't looked at the library until after we were about to go into Swamp Palace and he asked me if there was a hook shot in it?
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
But to be fair, I spaced out on getting the middle chest in Desert, where there was the shovel, because he probably just kind of said the entire thing. And then I asked, okay, do I need the torch for the big chest? And he said, yes, the torch. And then I just completely went for the torch and forgot the other one.
Yeah, I said both, but I think the Discord just kind of ate my center one, and I wasn't paying enough attention to see that he got it or not.
Yeah.
So it happens.
So that wasn't a miscommunication on your part, Freddie. That was more so lost in translation sort of thing, basically.
Yeah, combination of Discord or I could have forgotten to say it, to be fair, and just said it in my head. That's a possibility as well.
Yeah. So the swords in the sea were also not pretty kind, as we come to find out.
Yeah, I saw the two in pod, but like I said, with the money situation, I didn't want to go over there earlier. And then once I realized where the other two were, and I'm like, oh, there's one on the swamp boss. You can just hammer that, right? And then I'm like, oh, we need the swamp key. That's an ice palace. Oh, hey, there's a sword there too. Let's just go ice palace real quick. We don't need to finish it anyway. So that ended up being my logic there. And I'm like, made sure he was okay with doing, green mail, 6 heart, hammer, Argus, basically.
Well, I was basically okay with that. It was kind of spooky instead. I should have picked up the hearts on the left side.
It's a little spooky. It's fine. You did a good job.
Yeah, took it slow in the end.
And then figured there's a bunch of protection in Thieves Town right after with the big key out of that. So I figured worst case, if he took the death to Argus, he can just come back and do Swamp Palace later and hope that isn't too much time lost to lose it. But
yeah,
fortunately, it worked out.
Yeah, fortunately worked out. We saw from Taale's end, she ended up going to pod first for that early sword.
Yep.
But ended up getting the key, or spending the key to go get the Book of Adora, which it looks, based on what I read, if that's not going to lead to anything.
Yep, I checked that pretty early because I wasn't sure because I was working on my pod routing while he was going through Desert, I think that's why I didn't catch the shovel things, because I was thinking of going to pod after that. I'm like, how many pod keys do I actually need here? And then I'm like, okay, there's 2 swords, and then ether, but that's bow locked. So that's just 1 key? And I looked at the back, I'm like, oh, there's a book. Oh, the bridge chest was a book, okay. I mean, the book was easily gettable. I had that in my mind as something we might need, so I checked it first. That was part of the reason I ended up leaving off pod to later, was just because the sword was not, or I knew the book wasn't needed, so there was no reason to go there earlier other than the 2 swords, which is a good reason, but wasn't good enough of a reason.
So you two, of course, had your flows. We, of course, had a flow of our own here. We got the medallions backwards for the dungeons.
Oh, whoops. Fortunately, Ether wasn't required to double dip pod for Turtle Rock access. That wouldn't have surprised me, but I was like, okay, let's go to Turtle Rock. You have Bombos, right? No, I don't have Bombos. Oh yeah, that was on the flute spot. You have shovel, so I don't have shovel.
Goofed on that one.
Where was shovel at? Oh right, desert. Oh, I thought you got. Oh, I guess you didn't get that chest. Okay, it's fine. We can fix this.
Yeah, it worked out in the end, which is what matters.
Yep.
So you two are, of course, I've mentioned this a couple times already. Your team, the Sexy Cannons, has clinched playoffs at this point for your division here in the Missing Mire division. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice. Hoping for second place at this point. That kind of depends a lot on this weekend because the top 2 teams play this weekend in the spoiler race, or their spoiler races, and if the Error 216 goes 2-0 against them, then we just need to win out to get second. Otherwise, I'm not really sure because I think they would be second in any other situation. Because if they take a game off of Error 216, then they would have the better record against them than us, and would be tied with us otherwise because we went 1-1 against them.
Jumping in here to point out that Taale is taking a death in the gauntlet. Got lasered kind of hard there.
Yeah.
Back up she goes.
That is actually Taale's 3rd death. Not been too painful, those deaths, though. But those have added up a little bit of time. Taale, of course, also, like I said, went to pot early. Also opted for Hula Hand as well to start off the seed.
Yeah, we were going to do that after Kakariko if anything was actually needed, but I was kind of looking for 300s. I'm like, oh, there's a 300 on Zora. Wait, there's a 300 on Zora. We don't need that 300.
You don't need any 300s at that point.
No.
Oh, one would have been nice.
I mean, yeah, we would have taken one. Like I was talking about potions on the way and stuff, and ended up never even using the blue bottle out of C-shaped. So
yeah, those bottles were actually not in a good position either.
yeah, I tried to get a Meyer key, but the only real accessible one was Laser Bridge, and nothing else there was useful other than one of the 300s. And we're just like, nah, let's just skip it and go. Once you're done with Turtle Rock, it's pretty much clear sailing. So
yeah, the thing is, the way I like to play is always have a backup if I need it. And because then I tend to play more confident and make less mistakes, so I lead it less. So that's kind of the irony of the thing. If I have one, I don't usually need.
Yeah, and Chad does not actually know where those other bottles are, so just to give you guys an idea here, because I do have the spoiler log in front of me, 2 of the bottles had blue potion that we did not see. Those were both in Misery Mire. And then there was another one with I think it was a bee in it. That was in Stupor Bunny.
yeah, we skipped that one. That was one where could get it, but Bugnet wasn't gettable, so just decided to skip it. And then not only were the 2 blue potions on Mire, they were both left side Mire. So
yeah, which logically requires all 3 keys, which no. Just
I mean, that. If there was one key, it's worth getting one, the Spike Room one, but we never got a key, and like I said, he just wants to have the one for safety and didn't really need the second.
Yeah. Of course, next week we have I believe that I have to look at the settings again. We have the co-op all dungeons.
Yes. That should be fun.
So does your team know who is racing with that?
All 3 of us in some form or another. I don't know who's run twice.
That'll be good to know. Also to note about next week, because I did not mention this, folks, it is 7GT. It is also going to be. They're also allowed to share information between each other. So which is common in co-op, so that is something that is noted here in the rules. But yeah, good GG's to both of you. I can't think of anything else to add, so any final thoughts about the seed?
It was actually a fairly nice seed. We had much worse in practice. So.
Yes, this was actually pretty decent. And Freddy has done a lot of work in previous times, let's put it this way, where it was like you needed to, what was it, triple dip Pearls of Darkness in one of the practice ones, so this was comparatively nice.
Yeah, there's been silly things. I had a one that I was just routing for practice. It wasn't, I didn't have anyone running, but the Turtle Rock Big Key was on the library. The boots were in the Skullwoods Big Chest, and the Skullwoods Big Key was in Ganon's Tower. That was a fun one to look at.
Yikes. And that actually does bring up something I want to ask. How different was this for you, compared to something that would be like a traditional spoiler log race, in which you have 15 minutes of prep time to study the log yourself?
Well, I've never done one of those, so I couldn't tell you.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I will say that Pod Big Key being in Turtle Rock has been happening like the last 4 or 5 seeds I've done, so that didn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, he basically went like, alrighty, where's the Pod Big Key? Let me guess, it's in Turtle Rock. And then he went a few seconds later, yep, it's in Turtle Rock.
Yep. If you want an insight of how I thought, so that was how it was.
I only just now looked at the tracker and I noticed that who had the red mail. I completely missed where that was.
Red Mail was
Red
the
Mail is Super
upper
Bunny.
chest in Super Bunny Cave. I went
Yep.
up through the Dark World, up to Death Mountain, the first time through, because I figured Red Mail is really nice if I only have 1 potion, so just grab it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth doing on the way, I think. Especially since he had to do Master Sword Train X, so which isn't too bad, but having the extra protection will make it safer.
Yeah, Taale, meanwhile, is fighting Yagamoth right now. And, of course, we do have a restream we have the German restream going on as well. I don't know if... I don't want to be rude here, but I don't know if any of you want to do an interview with that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go if you need to take care of that. Yeah, but thank you for racing, and GG to you once again.
I'll say I'm good, but oh yeah, Hera was a thing as well. That was my bad. Probably didn't need to actually go kill Moldorm, but needed the stuff on the main floor, and Moldorm was there, and I might have forgotten that it was a pendant at the time. I think it dropped, and he's like, "So do we need this pendant for something?" No.
Yeah. We saw the pedestal. It was a rupee statue, and specifically was the 100 rupees on the pedestal today.
Yeah. Checked that early, but yeah, just spaced that one on Hera. It was a heart. It was worth it.
Yeah. Taale now in the Ganon fight. Only on 2 hearts. She has to be pretty careful here.
Yeah, that's scary, only having 2 hearts. And she used her blue potion in the gauntlet, so... But she does have silvers, so as long as she doesn't get hit, she's good.
Yep, there we go. And there we go, 3 hits. Or 4 hits, rather. Again, stopping there. 3 hit here. Gets the torch. Can get a second hit here. Unfortunately, again, it's not playing ball. There's no position here that we can get a trip or double even. There we go, too little too late, but that is GG for Taale. Finishing strong here in week 6. And we will be announcing the finish time here shortly. And that is GG to Taale, finishing in 2nd place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 36 seconds. What a race this was.
Gonna see if the missing bow players want to join us for interview. Give us a moment.
Yep. In the meantime, folks, let me go ahead and read off the schedule for you guys while we're waiting for them to get up here. So coming up, so we don't have matches going for a little while. The next match we have is Team I Like Big Boots versus Team Kinda Random Retired. Zero Rush versus Super Nintendo with Relkin and Kyung as the respective pilots for each team. That is having us speaking for. Both of those teams are undefeated right now, so that's going to be a really important match to watch, as both of them are guaranteed playoff position here. They have clinched it. And then also at 8 o'clock on the ALTTPR League, we have Team The Titansmiths versus Team What Are You Doing in My Swamp, Taale. Sailor Nep versus Scrub Casual, with Etium piloting for Sailor Nep and Digidu piloting for Scrub Casual. And then at 8:30, we will have a match at Speed Gaming 5 between Super Solid Judgeoneers and the Cool Rush Gamers. That'll be Siberian Bull, co-piloted by Sonny Wrath, and the Daddy Gamers being piloted and with Ku Kawabel on the pilot for Cool Rush Gamers. And it looks like we don't see them for the interview here. It looks like we may not have them. They may not wish to do an interview here. So, yeah, make sure to, of course, follow our runners here. They put on an excellent race for us tonight. Also, make sure to follow my co-commentator, Ricky of Kukiri, and, of course, our trekker, Elbot, as well. He did an excellent job keeping those items of the day for you down there, and attempting to keep us honest here by getting us the maps and compasses and the medallions, but we didn't have much time to prepare, so we kind of tripped up a bit. But of course, also make sure to follow us here on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. You don't miss any racing action, not just in the Pass Randomizer League. And like we were saying before, this was caught by our German research team, so make sure to also follow Speed Gaming Dutch and our other foreign language research as well: Speed Gaming Francés, Speed Gaming Espanol, and Speed Gaming Portuguese. I don't know the proper pronunciation of Portuguese. But then we do have a Portuguese restream as well. And you can follow me as well if you wish. I am WolfLink0270. And from all of us here at Link to the Randomizer League, we shall see you all next time. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone. And enjoy the races coming up in the near future.
Have a good day. Bye.